Hi, I'm Dan. I'm a new library trustee, and I have a little bit of a problem. It all began when I started dating one of the reference librarians. Velma is just so cute and sweet and kind and lovely and adorable. Well, anyway, our first date started when we were talking about her schedule over a donut in the break room. I then asked her to meet me to discuss her book budget over coffee. Finally, I asked her to tell me her opinion of our electronic databases over a drink. When I told the library board that I thought the reference desk schedule should be changed, that we should increase the book budget and purchase a new database, I was scolded. I was told that the library already had policies on those issues, and that it was against policy for me to use my board membership to get a date. Well, since I was so confused with all that talk about policies, I called my Aunt Mary to get her advice. I wanted to know what I did wrong because, you know, Velma's just so cute.
Okay, Dan. Right. No, it's okay. Yes, I'll tell him. All right, bye-bye. Well, that isn't just like a man. Obviously, Dan had unwittingly made some serious mistakes. He forgot that his job is to make policies that make sense for the library, and for him to follow them too. Making policies may sound unattractive, but I have found that this is the heart of the library board's work in helping the director and the staff provide library services in a consistent way, treat employees in a consistent way, and ensure that the board work with the director is consistent.
Remember, the board has a responsibility to the community for the governance of their library.
From my years as a library director, I can group policies into a few categories. Policies for dealing with library users, policies for dealing with the staff, policies on how money given to the library is used, policies for working with the director, and policies dealing with how the board conducts its business.
When Mary said that the board needs to have policies that deal with library users, she was referring to policies for registering to receive a library card, policies that list the length of loans for different materials, policies for using public computers for surfing the web, policies of acceptable and unacceptable behavior in the library, and policies concerning the privacy of patron information.
The key to most of the library's public policies are to make them equitable for everyone. Long-term residents, new residents, kids, and senior citizens will all want to use the library, and the library's policies should make that possible.
In addition to usage policies, the board should get involved in what is called the collection development policy, which defines the types of materials that are purchased for the library, when items are withdrawn from the collection, and what happens when someone questions why an item was purchased.
The second type of policy I mentioned a minute ago is a policy for library personnel. If the library staff do not fall under a standard set of personnel policies with other county employees, then the board has to set up policies. These personnel policies will let all the employees know about their salary and benefits, about their work week, and the expectations on conduct, performance, and service to residents.
This policy might be a good place to let staff know that any issues about the work week, approved vacation time, and performance review is between the employee and the director. The board needs to let the employees know that the board members will not listen to their complaints on these topics.
Managing the finances of the library is the third type of policy that boards need to be aware of. When I was a director, I came to realize that members of the board can't and shouldn't micromanage the library's funds because the board does not know what is happening on a daily or weekly basis with library purchases or what relationships some purchases have to each other. I told Dan that I like to see policies that define how to handle cash and investments throughout the year so bills can be paid while some extra interest money is earned to pay off other things that are needed. The library director should give the board monthly financial reports so it can discuss any trends, issues, or unexpected expenditures.
The board also needs to make sure that it has some policies on how it works with the director in managing the library. The board needs to set policies on how the director is evaluated, how policies are reviewed, how board members interact with the director and the staff, perhaps no dating, and how the board conducts itself in meetings. These policies are important since board members come and go. New board members should receive a handbook on how to work with the director, the board, and other library staff.
Many public libraries across the nation post their library policies on their website. Since there's no reason to reinvent the wheel, he can just do a Google search on library policies and see what is available. Dan can then use that information as the basis for discussion and the language when he needs to add, change, or delete policies. I told Dan to remember that policies are made so that everyone affected, the board, the community, the director, and the staff, are all treated in a consistent and fair manner. He needs to keep the mantra consistent and fair in mind as he works on policies. He also needs to remember that policies are determined by the full board after careful and thoughtful deliberation and consulting with the director. No single board member sets policy.
After talking with Uncle Jack and Aunt Mary, I have a better understanding of my job as a library trustee. I guess my actions did violate the policy. It's not really my job to micromanage the library. It's my job to help create policies so the director can lead the organization. And I think I'm going to stop dating Velma. It was wrong of me to use my powers of seduction, especially since I'm a board member. However, if Velma didn't work at the library, I suppose we could keep dating for as long as we wanted, right? Well, I'm off to my next board meeting. I'll see you next time.
Here are some questions that your board should consider. How often should policies be reviewed? Why does the library need policies on board conduct? What is the present policy for dealing with a board member that acts contrary to the best interests or policy of the board? Name 2 resources for developing policy for your library.